Recently, New York City Council made it official honoring the Filipino community in Woodside, Queens. This month, the corner of 69th and Roosevelt will be codenamed Little Manila Avenue. And that's where I decided to spend the afternoon.
Oh, we're in the middle of Little Manila, Queens, right in the heart of Woodside. So, 7 trains around here, buses are flying around. We got everyone just walking around here. So it's a bit loud, but welcome.
Little Manila is little, just a stretch of blocks along Roosevelt Avenue below the 69th Street subway station. But it's brimming with businesses, restaurants and shops catering to New York's Filipino community.
The footprints of the Filipinos are here. Anywhere you look here, you feel like you're in the Philippines, Manila in particular.
Dennis Nepomuceno and his partner Bong Bungalan own Kusina Pinoy Bistro, a restaurant and go-to nighttime hotspot. They opened in 2019. Then came 2020.
Before we reached our first year anniversary, we were closed. So it was very difficult for us not knowing when we're going to open again.
What they did was take the restaurant and music outside, bringing a festive atmosphere to Roosevelt Avenue. And it's what the community needed at the time, hard hit by COVID. When he's not at the restaurant, Nepomuceno is a nurse. In fact, many residents here work in healthcare, and many were impacted by COVID. In honor of the Filipino nurses and healthcare workers, artists and activists painted a mural just below the subway stop. Mabuhay, which means welcome in Filipino, was unveiled in June 2020. Several elected officials attended, including then City Councilman Jimmy Van Bramer.
Which Jimmy Van Bramer noticed at the dedication ceremony this plastic sign, Little Manila, and he said he would help make it happen.
It being getting the City Council to recognize Little Manila. There had been several efforts to do this in the past, but now there was traction, including a petition signed by more than 3,000 people. In 2021, Van Bramer's resolution passed the City Council. This month, June, the southwest corner of Roosevelt and 70th will be co-named Little Manila Avenue. What does it mean for you and the community?
I can't articulate that. It's so meaningful to have a public recognition of the more than 50 years of Filipinos living and thriving here in Queens.
According to the latest census, 86,000 Filipinos and Filipino Americans live in New York City, with more than 54% living in Queens. Many of the Filipinos moved to the borough after being recruited to work at nearby hospitals that were facing nursing shortages. By the 1990s, 72% of Filipino immigrants in New York were registered nurses. Xenia Diente's mother is a nurse. Her family moved to Woodside in 1976.
I also remember at the age of 6, my mom had errands to do, and they dropped me off here in Philam Food Mart, and I was babysat because my mom is good friends with Joseph's mom.
Joseph is Joe Castillo. His parents owned the iconic Philam Food Mart, a longtime popular stop for the Filipino diaspora.
Every day after school, I was here doing my homework in the back or upstairs. Never had a summer job. It was always here.
When you enter the store, it's like stepping into, well, Manila. The lines are long, with shoppers buying a taste of home, from spicy pork longanisa to Skyflakes crackers.
Growing up in my school, which I went to school, not too far from here, I was one of like 2 or 3 Filipino kids in the neighborhood. Now that my own children are going to school here, like half their class is Filipino.
Castillo is thrilled the street in front of his family's shop will be a small nod to the Filipinos who live and work here.
Small but mighty, right? Yeah, no, and it's great. I think we have such a rich culture to share. Just like any other community, I think it feels great to be, like you said, part of the tapestry that makes the city great.
Steve Raga is also a Queens native, and now he's hoping to be the first Filipino-American elected to serve in New York State office.
This is where my family is. This is what I call home. This is where my community is. And I was, I could have been anywhere else, but this is exactly where I want to live, work, and contribute.
He announced his campaign in April after the Queens Democratic Party tapped him to replace his old boss, Brian Barnwell, to represent the 30th Assembly District. He says the street name is great, but it's just the beginning.
Getting an honorary street name should absolutely just be the first step. There's a lot more that our community needs, our neighborhood needs. So it's good that we have a unified effort to get the street sign, and we'll see where we can take it from here.
In Little Manila, I'm Ernabelle DeMillo for Asian American Life.